Alright folks, well I did the old try to start it up as soon as you get it home, and obviously she didn't start. I started taking some things off. I took the gas can off. Was looking at the spark plug to see if I was getting a spark on the spark plug here. You just put it up to a piece of metal and then you turn the motor and you should see a spark. I wasn't seeing any spark, and there could be a number of reasons for that. Could have a bad HT lead. We could have a bad spark plug, but I don't think that's it because I have a brand new one that I also tried with this and it didn't work. We could have just some bad old corroded connections going to the condenser and the coil. In order to determine it's the coil, let's kind of start picking away at these little things. Let's get her cleaned up a little bit and then we'll put her back together. I've already got the carburetors taken off. We're gonna clean that up real good. We're gonna get this flywheel off, kind of take a look inside and see how things are looking under there. We'll just dive right into this one and start by removing and disassembling the carburetor. We start off by removing the throttle and throttle needle. Yeah, this is all going to need a good spray of carb cleaner. Now we're removing the fuel line that connects to the fuel tap under the gas can. Then we remove the float bowl. With the bowl filled with fuel, the float pushes up on a pin, allowing the gas to flow into the carb, where it's then discharged into the cylinder for combustion. And this is just an air intake cover. That's where the air intake goes in. That little hole in the center, that's a good thing. Good deal. Now to hose this all down. I'm even putting a toothbrush to it here. It works well. Now all it needs to do is reassemble and we're good here. Attacking the flywheel, we need to bust the stone nut free. And in order to do that, we need some leverage. And I've got some. We can turn freely with our hand and now remove the flywheel cover. Best outboard motors for the world. Alright, we got a closer view here on top of the flywheel. So you can see here we've got the Villiers coil, and then we've got the condenser right here. Probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It is a little dirty in here. A little bit of corrosion happening. We've got to get the actual flywheel off, and I guarantee you this is not going to want to cooperate. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is give it a good squirt of some WD-40. Running out. Let that soak for a little bit. To free the flywheel and avoid any unnecessary damage, we have to lift the motor up by only the flywheel and hammer down on top of the crankshaft to set the flywheel free. Make sure the piston is all the way forward in the cylinder to avoid damage. Not quite. Try lifting it differently. Stubborn little bugger. Let's have this soak longer in WD-40 and switch gears over to the coil and point box. Since I can't get the flywheel off, I took the cover off to the condenser. And so what I'm looking at is this gap right here. So when the motor's turning and the flywheel turns, you'll see, I'm going to turn it and they'll, see, right there. It comes down. Let's see if I can get in there. It comes down and it connects. And then it pops back up. See it moving? And so every time it does it, and it touches and it releases. So as the motor is just turning and turning and turning, every time those connectors touch, it creates the current. It allows the current to go into the spark plug, give us a spark and give us the explosion for the combustion. So I was just kind of checking the distance on that, make sure those points are good. Everything looks pretty clean in there, not bad. Oh, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some sandpaper and just a real fine grit, and just a couple times I'm gonna run some sandpaper on both ends just to make sure that our connections are good and clean. I'm also gonna do the same on our HT lead. Up here, right here where the HT lead connects, there's a metal connector. I've got one down here actually, I can show you as an example. So here's the HT lead, and this, I think this is brass. It connects to the Villar's coil. When I took that off initially, it was pretty corroded, so I don't know if we were getting a good connection there or not. So I cleaned that up. I'm gonna clean up these points real quick on our condenser, make sure we're getting a good connection there, and then we'll put the flywheel back together, we'll put it all back together and try to fire it up again. All right. I'm cleaning the points by closing sandpaper in between them and giving a quick pull to remove any corrosion. Same with the HT lead, just a light rub. And now to reassemble everything and give this bad boy a few pulls. I'm using the gas tank from my working motor, the number 1, as it already has a clean gas mixture ready to go. With no start, I decide to switch out the carb, throttle, and gas with my number 1. If she fires up, then I know I have a good carb and most likely a bad coil for the number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, that's right. Like a scalded dog. We're back here again. We are getting the spark at our points. I want to give this a good spin for about 5 minutes, and within that 5 minutes I guess it's gonna kind of help recharge, kind of charge up the coil. I don't know, it's supposed to just kind of charge it up, I guess. So I went and got a proper socket to fit this dome nut here, and we are gonna just start drilling just like that. Alright, 5 minutes. Alright, I've got the HT lead on, and I've got our spark plug grounded here on the end, so maybe we'll start seeing a spark here in a little bit. So the idea here is, if the coil's good, this should start to, in a way, bring it back to life. I see a spark on the spark plug. It's a light, very light spark. Not looking good. Back to flywheel removal. Heating the metal can help break down corrosion that's causing the wheel to be stuck. I also decided to make lifting the motor a little easier on myself this go around. A few bangs with the sledgehammer, and right as we finally get her free, the GoPro died. A little anticlimactic, but here we are. Pain in the ass. Coming. A few light taps under the magneto base plate, and we're off. Here we go. Before I go, I wanted to give a quick update on our coil situation. I was able to get these, I'm gonna call them magnetic brackets for the coil. I was able to get those off. And here's the old one as an example of what it looks like. So I'm letting these soak in WD-40 so I can get these off. So what I had to do to remove those, there's 4 screws here, and 2 of them are these double-sided screws. These are a little tricky to get out without stripping the threading on this. I was able to remove this one successfully. This other one, however, I needed to cut the end off with a grinder, and I have a stripped screw rethreading kit, and it comes with these guys. So you kind of drill a hole in the center of the top of the screw, and you get them out with this. And the other 2 screws are just these flatheads, but I had to do the same with, so how this works is you just drill a hole at the tip. The other end is reverse threaded. So when you're taking it out, you're going in reverse with the drill, you're actually grabbing, there's like little grooves that are grabbing into the screw. See how it grabs the screw there. So that's how I was able to get those off. But yeah, didn't want to leave y'all without showing the progress I made on this right quick. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to do it for this video, folks. We've gotten about as far as we can get on the British Seagull for now, and I said I wasn't going to spend any money in this thing. I'm going to go ahead and order a coil. Got to order that from the UK. I was going to start fiberglassing repair here and the spot down here in the bottom of the transom, but as you can tell, it is freezing out here right now. And in order to properly work with fiberglassing, I believe the working temperature would be somewhere like 70, 80 degrees. The fiberglassing is going to be put on hold for a while. If you're waiting for that video, I apologize. We're just gonna have to wait it out. But yeah, that's it. Oh, and one other thing. We have a very, very special trip planned mid-December, so I should hopefully be putting out a video for that trip about a week or so after that. It is a trip I am very excited about. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to completing that and sharing it with all of you. But yeah, that's it for this video. Yeah, you know me, the work never ends. So until then, take it easy, y'all.